Well, here we are in my outdoor studio. I'm sorry, there's a lot of ambient noise, but I want to show you the start of putting an underglaze design on a piece that was made on the wheel, and I need some circles, so I'm going to do them on my wheel. And once I get those done, we'll go inside where it's not so noisy. So what I want you to see is, those of you that are working on the wheel, how you can use the wheel to help you put down some underglaze color. Um, and for those of you who are hand building, you can still use all these principles. You're just not going to have it turning in a circle. So I'm going to attempt to get the camera down here on the wheel, and what I'm working on is boy, it's hard to see. There's so much, it's bright out here, and it's hard to see what's on the camera, but hopefully we're there. So I am attempting to make another one of these. So this is a little lidded jar that's got an underglaze design on it, and oops, it's inside as well and on the sides, and I needed to be able to make a perfect circle. Also, there is a background color here, which you might not be able to see too well, but when I go inside, we'll look at it in more detail. So that background color is very light, and I have mixed a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red. I want just kind of a peach color, and I mixed it with quite a bit of water. So I'm going to just use that as a wash in the back. Now, if you are a thrower, you need to learn how to tap center. See how fast that was? That's the easy way once you learn how to do it, so you got to keep working on it till you get it. Now, I'm going to put this color, it's what's going to be on the inside of the circle. So I'm going to do that first. You want to think about what color goes on what on top of what. Do it in order. And be careful. Now, this is bone dry, which is a really good time to apply underglaze, but you have to be careful because you don't want it to crack, which means you don't want it sopping wet. So I'm going to lay down a little bit of color, and this, I'm trying to keep this very thin because I want just a kind of a glow behind the main pattern. I might put on a little bit more after that dries, but I'm not letting it get really dry. I'm not letting it get really wet. I want it to be drier so that I don't crack the pot. Now this is black, and I want that line dark, so I'm going straight out of the jar. This is a Amico velvet, like I've been telling you about. And if your underglaze is too thick to brush easily, hair loose there, you can water it down. And I did add a little bit of water to this. You want to be sure that you always shake and or stir underglazes before you use them. Be sure they're well mixed. And you can definitely add water if you need to. So in this case, I want this color to be strong. So I'm going to make sure I've really got good coverage. And I'm going to do this line on the side. Watch out about getting bone dry where too wet. This goes for engobes as well. If you put them on in successive, a little bit thinner layers, you'll be better off than if you put them on real heavy all at once. Greenware is really, most underglazes are designed to go on dry greenware. that just seems to stick the best. But because you are working with bone dry ware, you just need to be careful not to get them too wet. Now, if you make a mistake, you can wipe it off. I made a major mistake because I already did this once and then I realized it wasn't recording. So I had to wipe everything off and start again. And that's not too difficult to do with greenware. The water that you use to wipe off underglaze needs to be discarded. Don't put that into your recycling. It's got colorants mixed into it. So now I'm going to do this inside. It looks to me like it's a little bit off center. So another nice thing about underglazes is that because they're made with gum, there's a gum they add to it, you can touch them and they don't smear. I mean, you have to push pretty hard to smear it. That's another nice feature. They're as soon as you start working with underglazes, you're going to love them because you can do all the things you can do with On Go and more. Now, I didn't remember about the background color, so I'm going to put it on now, and it's going to cover the black just a little bit, but if I put a little bit of black over the top of it, that's going to cover it up. So most underglazes are opaque, and you can use one over the top of the other and completely cover. However, what a lot of the potters are doing that really work with them, and Naomi Clement is a perfect example of this. I looked at her work. She's putting them on in thinner coats so that you do see through them. It depends on the effect you want, but potters have been working for some time now to try to get the richness out of electric firing that you can get out of reduction firing, so electric being oxidation and gas kilns giving us the possibility for reduction firing. Reduction firing tends to be much richer looking, more complex. So one of the ways that potters have been working out to work with oxidation, because it's a lot easier to set up an electric kiln, is that they're using layered effects. So by layering color, you can get some of that complexity that we're used to seeing in high fire reduction ware. Okay, now I have my background color and the black lines. That's what's going on here. And now I can take it indoors and finish the rest of the painting. See you inside.